What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. We just received more parts that came in the mail. We got a replacement ignition coil wire harness for my Evo 8 right here. And I probably never explained it to you guys, but at time to time I will have like a random misfire, and every time it happens I will have to wiggle this harness and the car will run fine. But thankfully this is covered under warranty, and I did purchase the ignition coil pack along with the harness 4 years ago, and these guys are lifetime warranty. Let's go ahead and get this thing swapped out and we should be in the clear. New wire harness on the ignition coils is installed. I don't know if you guys know, but I am an affiliate member of JDCustoms U.S.A. If you guys are interested in purchasing 80 products from JD Custom, you can use my discount code JVBuild. Will save you 10% off on any products. I mean, look at those titanium burnt hardwares. They just look so good. Of course, the engine bay needs a little bit of cleanup. I do plan on cleaning up the engine harness around over the intake manifold, a little bit over here. We got two OEM parts that came in. This is the reverse switch. This part is actually for Jalen's Evo because her reverse lights, sometimes when you throw it in reverse, it just doesn't come on. And the other part is this little rubber bushing for the gear collar. And the reason why I bought that rubber piece is because my shifter has of a play pretty loose, as you can see. But I noticed that when I took the whole center console out, when I removed the turbo timer, the harness was running into the parking brake. Let's go ahead and remove the whole center console so we can get that sorted out. So this bushing over here is not actually made for the shifter. This bushing is actually sits right over here. Just kind of the look at it, as you can see all these pieces that is just sitting on the bottom. I think all that is from the plastic shift linkage itself. So I think over time it just started to break in pieces, and I think that we do need a replacement shifter cable. So I ended up shoving that bushing and throw the shifter cable back on, and it looks like it's working. It's actually holding on pretty good. So it actually feels nice than how it was before, so I'm happy with that. Center console is all back together. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and take care of the main issue that the Evo 8 has been having for a long time. As I mentioned when I picked up the car from the beginning of the year, the battery light came on. I didn't explain it too much about it, but I did took a time of testing the battery when the car was running, and it was getting 15 volts. So the alternator is overcharging the battery. And the main reason is that we might have a faulty regulator in the alternator, and that's what's causing the battery light to come on. Also, we do have a brake shimmy, like a brake vibration when I apply brake real hard on the car, and it's pretty bad. Here are the new parts that I mentioned probably maybe the last video or a couple videos ago. We do have a brand new alternator. It is a 90 amp A premium brand is what it is. We have new brakes from R1 Concept. For the front, the rotors are just the regular ones, they're not drill slotted, and they also come with these as well too, with new pins and new clips, so that's very nice to have. I think the first thing I really want to start is with the alternator. It looks like a big job. I never replaced an alternator on an Evo before, especially not on my own. The alternator is right at the top, so first thing I want to do is disconnect the battery. Then we can probably start moving on from the top, see what we need to do to disconnect, and then of course we have to jack up the car, pull the wheels off, and then we have to see from there. Hopefully it's a easy replacement. Alright guys, so we got the alternator disconnect from the top. The tension pulley, I don't think you need to. Also disconnect the plug from the bottom as well. What it seems like now is that there is a nut over here on the bottom and a bolt on the top. The only problem is that even if we have all this space over here, there's no way that we can actually squeeze the alternator out in this space or from the bottom over here, which means now we have to remove the downpipe. And it would have been nice if I had my exhaust tool to remove the rubber, but it's not a big deal. Lower this down so that way we have access to drop the alternator from the bottom and we'll be good. Here is the old alternator and here is the new alternator. Similar design. This thing looks really nice. Comes with a new nut. And removing the alternator on the Evo 8 is not so bad. Some people do pull it from the top. You may have to remove the intake manifold. I don't know how people do it though, but of course with the fuel pressure regulator, with the return line is in the way along with the other things. But I find it easier just to remove the downpipe and drop it off from the bottom. It's not so bad. Now we're ready to install the new alternator to the car. New alternator is installed, and before we go ahead and throw the axle back in, of course we need to take care of this. As this has been leaking for a period of time, we do have some inner and outer CV boost, so I'm going to replace the other side at the same time, along with new clamps and 2 bags of grease. Let's go ahead and get this knocked out, get this thing all nice and cleaned up, and throw it right back in. Downpipe and axle are back in the car. I picked up a brand new Serpentine belt from O'Reilly. The old belt has some crack in it, as you can see, so we're gonna be replacing it. We might as well since we're there. Let's go ahead and throw this away and install this guy. Last thing we have to do is install the front brake pads and rotors along the clips with the pin. Let's go ahead and open these boxes out, see how they look like. Passenger side is down. Now let's go ahead and do the driver's side. Alright guys, the Evo 8 is done. We got the new front brake pads, rotors, alternator, and also replaced the inner and outer CV boot on the passenger front axle. Now we're gonna go ahead and start the car. I do have my multimeter to the battery so we can go ahead and confirm that we fixed the issue with the brand new alternator. As you can see that the wheels are off on the car again, and the reason why is because when I try to reverse, the car stalled, and for some reason something was locking the front brakes. So what I ended up finding is that this bolt that was on the car, I don't know if this is factory, I doubt it is, but this bolt over here at the end part was contacting the rotor, couldn't move or whatsoever. And it's weird because the old rotor never had any issues, so I don't know if there was something going on with it. I don't even know, honestly. We had to run to Napa to get a little bit shorter one, about this much. So we're gonna go ahead and replace all four with these, and hopefully we'll be good. Guys, it is now the next day, so we drove the car about an hour total, 30 minutes to my wife's salon and 30 minutes back home. On the battery issue, it checked out good. Battery light didn't come back on, which is a good thing. When we got to my wife's salon, it started to make some little grinding noise. We drove it back home, come to find out that the dust cover was contacting the rotor, so I got that situated. But other than that though, everything on the car is working perfectly. There are a few more things that I need to button up. Did notice that the outer tie rod on the passenger side, the boot is gone and it has a little play, so I need to go and get that taken care of. Also, we do have a few leaks that it looks like is coming from the turbo coolant feed and return hose, the rubber hose right there. See that the thermostat switch has a little slight coolant leak as well too. Dipstick was starting to break. It was hanging on for a little bit of the dear life and decided to break, so I need to get that replaced. Decided to clean up those extra wires that I had running on the car. It was the underglow. Had it for a few years, got that removed. Kind of super glad getting taken care of all that main issue. So at least we can look forward to kind of tighten up the car a little bit, just the minor stuff. And the last thing I really want to do before I end the video is to take care of the reverse light on Jalen's car. Let's go ahead and get that replaced, and hopefully it fixed the problem. On the Evo 8 5-speed transmission is that guy right there. New reverse light switch is in. Yep, they are on. All that is taken care of. I used a 24mm deep socket to loosen the reverse light switch and put the new one in. Just make sure that the washer that comes out on the old switch, you have to reuse it. The new one doesn't come with it. But that's about it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am gonna go ahead and wrap it up. All the parts that we installed on my car and also on Jalen's car will be linked down in the description box below. And if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Also like, comment, and hit that notification. Aloha, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next video.